Rick Marks here. Welcome to another episode. We're looking at mindset. I'll chuck a link in the description for you if you want to pick up a copy of it. It is a very great book. What I have understood and learnt is around some studies that were done with the University of Hong Kong. They looked at the mindset and the growth mindset as such, and looking at puzzles. So they took a group of small children. I'm not quite aware. I think they've looked at like 4-year-olds often, and established that they gave them a bunch of puzzles and determining which ones wanted to stay within the doing the same puzzle over and over, or pick a harder puzzle to take on, and how understanding why they picked a certain way and what the drive was behind that. It's quite fascinating because yes, and that shows right there the fixed versus the growth. So the fixed mindset really just want to stay put. They want to do what they know. They want to just stay in the place that they are and just be really good at that. I think societorial, we've moved towards looking at it being entrepreneurial, the growth mindset, and we've linked that into that without necessarily it being 100% factual. I believe most entrepreneurs are growth mindset. They are challenging the question. They are looking for a stronger challenge, a bigger picture, a bigger problem. They're not happy to just settle, I guess, settle in terms there. So I guess when you work out which one you are you happy to just stay where you are doing what you're doing for the rest of your life? Or do you know, is there a hunger inside that goes, something better is out there and you're wanting to pursue that? Maybe you don't know how to pursue it. Maybe you don't know how to go about adventuring that. That's all part of like coaching and mentoring, and from like the professional aspect is helping you to understand and develop the skills and challenge the questions to careers to work out what you wanting to achieve. Now for every single person, now I've done a bit of reflection and thought myself around careers, big picture wise. And I thought, well, what is it? Like, what is it about a specific industry, a specific job that holds somebody for their working career, for instance, 30, 40 years, maybe even 50 years if they're lucky? Is it job satisfaction? Is it that they just know how to do it? Or is it that they don't think that they've got the capability to do anything else, so they become complacent in that? And it's important to understand that it's not just about complacency, and it's not about being discontent with what I have or the job that I'm doing. It's about going, there's skills, and this is, I guess, that underlying thing. There are skills that I've learned in my job now, but there are skills that I learned as an electrician. Now, had I not been an electrician, there were skills I wouldn't have had. And so if you're looking at your life and really you want to be very skillful, if that's your goal, picking up all these new skills along the way teaches you a whole lot of things. Through being an electrician, I learned a lot about troubleshooting, and I was able to then take the troubleshooting from that and I apply it to IT, for instance. And within the IT industry, I've been able to troubleshoot and do quite advanced stuff in that realm. And same now for management. I take the troubleshooting, I take that strategic thinking into that environment, and that can do new things and open up new skills as, like, I guess, subsets of skills. That's very microscopic view there, but like if you look at things and you realize that it's expanding, it's not just that. But if you stay in that one job doing that one same thing for your whole working career, can you, and I guess this is a question, if you've got an answer, chuck it in the comments, can you actually gain more skills than the counterpart that would bounce around? Now, I'm not talking about just jumping from job to job because it doesn't work for you, or because, like, you're not happy, but genuinely going, this is my career growth. You see, I've had a number of jumps around, and often when I'm going into an interview, they kind of like, oh, well, we've noticed you've spent, 2 to 3 years at the last number of locations. And I'm like, yep. And the reason behind that, and I give them, the founded reasonings, and they are real and they are genuine. And as soon as they understand that, they go, right, okay, I validated the decisions that I've made. Now, I've seen Simon Sinek has talked about it before, around the job hopping, and how, does that show that you're stickable and able to weather a storm? Now, I challenge that, because there is a counter to that, and I believe that if you've got the skill set, yes. If you don't have the skill set, no. And he's talked about generationally how there'll be another generation of people that will demand they get paid the same as a senior in the company, but the value isn't there. And I proposition that you can still compete. The blanket statement doesn't necessarily always apply, because if I've hopped around and I've jumped around, but I've been strategic in that, and I've developed some really good skills, business, or ways to gain and benefit, then it's not lacking the fact that I can't necessarily weather a storm. Maybe I'm more strategic in how I get through the storm with the company, or how I strategize the company through that storm, because of all the learned experiences. See, storms can make people exhausted and fatigued. I've been there myself. I've weathered a hard storm, and at the end of the storm I've gone, I am exhausted, I am spent, it's time for me to take a new change. Now you can look at it and say, well, yeah, he upped and left like 2.5 years or whatever, but it's all about the context. So I weathered the storm, I learned a lot of skills, I've learned a lot of concepts and analogies and framework that I could then take to anywhere, because I've weathered some big storms for massive companies, for government agencies. Now, yes, Simon Sinek, you're not 100% wrong. Yes, I agree. There are people who just jump around jobs and don't stick. They don't learn necessarily any skills. And yes, they may not be eligible. But I don't think that blanket statement necessarily sticks. It's a case-by-case basis. So yes, definitely look at the skills that you're learning now and work out whether those skills are enough for you. If you don't want to grow your skill set, stay where you are. But I think it's fantastic. The skills I learned doing like a trade, doing electrical, really helped me mentally with thinking the virtual environment, or the office environment, around troubleshooting and stuff. So I just have a different perspective. And I realized, yes, there are people who just like to stay put, and that's fantastic. And some people, their purpose is, I'm right just near my end of retirement in my career. So I don't really have an interest to kind of grow my career, and that's fine. That's you've got a case, you've got a purpose there. But I implore to the younger ones, work out what skills, work out what you're wanting to achieve, but do it strategically, and don't just change jobs because you don't like the boss. And that's, I guess, what Simon was more leaning towards, is if when you're asked about why you've changed jobs so much, and you're going, well, that was an unhealthy environment, that was, the manager wasn't very good, the pay wasn't that great, the conditions, like, they're kind of quite superficial. But if you turned around and you went, well, because I had exhausted everything that I could learn in that role, it was a junior role, it was only like a grad program, I couldn't develop my skills anymore, and the company didn't have any more placement. That's why I moved on. They can't rebut, and it's not a negative that you moved on, and that's what I guess I'm getting at, is moving on is not always negative. There can be growth, there can be opportunity, but you've got to actually have a good reason for why you've done what you've done. That's it for this video. If you've enjoyed it, thumbs up, like and subscribe, and you'll see me tomorrow morning at 9 AM. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.